Good evening, everyone. And in the season of giving thanks and Thanksgiving, I know for myself personally, I'm super thankful and grateful to all the AnCan art friends. And that's why, Hannah, we are here tonight. I know we cannot see you due to some technical difficulties, even though I've been a webinar producer and technical producer for 3 years. Zoom has pulled one up on us. Dang it. But we can still hear you,
Yeah.
and you will still be able to provide us all the attention that we normally need. So, Hannah, would you please introduce our art project tonight? Tell us what
Yes.
we're making. And I know you as well are very, very thankful to all of our AnCan art friends.
I am. Thank you so much, Alexa, once again. Yes, I'm Hannah, just in case you're new, you don't know me. And we're going to be doing a project that was inspired by a trip of mine to Yellowstone National Park. This is actually one of the hot springs over there. So I took a picture of the hot springs, and I this middle portion right here reminded me of I don't know, it looks so so nice the way it glides from the really really dark areas to the really really light areas. It kind of looks like stained glass just a little bit. So that's where the idea came from, stained glass. Although because I'm me, of course, I put a little extra details in here. So here's what we need. We're going to want a piece of paper, and this piece of paper, I'm actually going to fold it in half. So I'm not going to do a larger piece. And that's because I want to be able to focus on the details later on. So we're going to need, a little extra time. So it would definitely help to have a smaller piece of paper. Um, if you want to do a larger piece of paper, you're more than welcome to do that, of course. Never going to stop you. So I also have a pencil. I have an eraser. We're going to need both of them. I have a Sharpie marker, but honestly, any sort of permanent marker you have is totally fine. This one is the extra fine point, so it's the thinner one. But honestly, I've thought about doing one of these with the regular Sharpie, and I think it would look just as amazing. We also want some brushes as well. And simply because I am very comfortable using these brushes, I'm going to be using these, but please use whichever brushes are most comfortable for you. This one right here is a round size 8. This one is around probably a size 2 or something like that, maybe a 4. So it's a really small one and a medium size one. So put those aside. We'll bring those out in a little bit. I also have a napkin, and I also have my water right here. And then I also want some watercolor pencils. So where did they go? I literally just had them. Oh, here they are. So watercolor pencil literally got these from the dollar store for $3. And I'll be bringing these out later for the details, okay? So I want you guys to think about the big picture and the details. Big picture and details. For the big picture, I'm going to be using washable markers. And the reason I want to use washable markers is because when you put water on top of them, it spreads just the same way as a professional watercolor marker. And I love this thing. It's not a very well-known thing. So these are just like the regular 20 count Crayola washable markers. I think it costs like $5 for me. So I have that. I'm going to be using that. But if you don't have these, that's okay. You can have watercolors, just plain old watercolors you could use. So these guys right here. So feel free to bring that out. And actually, this version right here was made using watercolors. So it's a very similar effect, okay? But just so you guys know, I'm going to be using the watercolor markers, um, or the markers, I should say. As for the details, okay, the smaller things in here, I'm going to be using the watercolor pencils for that. So these guys right here. Um, However, if you don't have watercolor pencils, you can use regular color pencils. And you can see I was able to make these little details, these little marks right here. I just had to wait for it to dry a little bit, and that's all. Just it because you can't really do very much on wet paper, so you'll just have to wait for it to dry a bit. But it's totally fine if you don't have that. I think I covered everything. Do you guys have questions? If not, we can just dive right in. Cool. All right, let's do it. First things first,
I have a
pencil.
question real quick, Hannah.
Yeah, go for it.
I have Crayola Super Tip. Um,
Oh yeah.
are those the washable ones or not?
Yep, that's exactly the brand I have.
All right, thank you.
Yep, you got it. Anyone else? Who else has a question? All right. You guys are rock stars. Let's do this. So I have the shape to think about. So this shape right here, this is, of course, it's a hot spring, right? So very, very uneven edges. So I'm really mostly thinking about the overall shape of this hot spring. So it's really, really thin over here, and it really, really, really gets wider and then tapers down even more. So we'll start with the biggest thing here, the actual hot spring. I'm gonna break it down for you. We're looking at it in perspective. So I'm gonna go ahead and start in the middle right here. I've just got a line that I'm gonna stretch out, but then I'm really gonna make it curve outward, lots of little curves. I'm gonna stretch it all the way over here to the other side. I always like to take a look at my starting point and my ending point. So I've stretched pretty far over here. I'm gonna actually jump to the other side now. We can do this part. There you go. I just want you all to see that correctly. And I know that this needs to stretch out quite a bit as well. Your edges here are not going to be exactly like mine, and that's okay. You know, I want you guys to put your own handprint in it. I just know that it needs to stretch quite a bit, and that's all I know. So I've got this portion, the top portion. Now we can taper it down now. Squiggle it down to the bottom. Jump to the other side. Squiggle it down. And then maybe it just goes off. It goes off to the edge of the page. Although if you completed it, that's totally fine too. So I have my main little hot spring water area. Hopefully y'all can see that a little better. Now, in order to create this white part right here, I'm going to actually follow along. So let's go ahead and follow along the edge here. The only reason you don't see this part over here, the only reason you don't see like a white area up top is because of perspective. That's literally it. I'm just going to stretch it out here and just gradually, I'll just get a little bit wider as I go out. I am following it along, but I'm not being perfect about it. And that's because this is a natural formation. There's nothing here that's perfect. There's nothing here that is an exact mirror of another thing. So there's a lot of variation. So I'm going to the other side and do the same thing. Now it kind of looks like in the original, I kind of made this line over here, but then I trailed it off that way. I don't know why I did that. It was probably something to do with the picture. I encourage you guys, if you wanted to continue it down, you can. Yes.
So the on the left, you drew the line. So we still haven't done the white line. Are we going to do like another little one?
This is the white line. I accidentally got carried away.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's me. So you were thinking it was this line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that yet.
Okay.
I'm glad you called me on that because I just I tend to get
You can still stick it in there.
Yeah, I could, yeah. I might later. But let's actually finish this one first. So over here, I don't even know what I was doing on this side. Talking about this area here. So let's actually, instead of doing down here, okay. this is the white part following along. And what do you know? I have to trail off this way. And I want to make this line a little bit thicker because you can see right here, it's a bit thicker here. I'm just going to go down here. No, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to have it follow along. I started at the pool right here. Started at the pool. And move on down. I'm going to erase this line. And then now that we have this little white line that trails off this way, we can fill in this area. So I'm just going to pick a spot, any spot, have it move out. Now again, I do not expect yours to look much like mine, okay? Everybody's going to be able to do theirs a little bit differently, see things differently sometimes. Last part, we have this white area down here. So let's make this part. Have that follow along. That's the white spot. And now we get to make the purple area. So I'll give you guys a few moments to finish that up. Any questions again? Now all of this, it reminded me of a, what is the, like I said, those glass artworks, the stained glass artwork. But you can be as detailed as you want later on. So you can add more detail than what I have here if that's what you really want. So just keep that in mind. You can make these things look however you want them to look. So let's go ahead and do the purple part. And yes, I kind of got a little crazy with the white part here, but let's go ahead and I'll start over here and stretch out the purple part this way. So kind of goes off the edge, and I'm going to trail it this way instead because I want room for this little sulfur area. I'm pretty sure that's sulfur right there. So I have this area in here. Now, while we're working on this area, let's create the brown area. All this right here. Let's create this little brown blob. So that starts over here underneath this line. It just kind of juts out. It's very wobbly. I think I want to make mine a little bit bigger. I'm going to erase that. And again, this is the brown area. I'm making mine a little bigger. There we go. And then within the brown area, we have an orange area. So this part, so I'm going to create the orange spot now. And it's even more wacky than anything else we have. So what I'm going to do is have it jut out again. My lines are going to be even crazier. Kind of look like they're melting. Those hot springs, yes, they're very hot. If anybody has been to Yellowstone, there are signs everywhere. Don't go into the hot springs. Don't even walk on the land around it.
I heard now that they have to put out signs, don't cook your turkey in the hot springs. Apparently that's a thing.
Oh my God. I hope that's not a thing.
Well, I
knows
wouldn't
how
think
many-
who knows?
You know, they might be trying to just cover everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this orange area within the orange area. It's just a little peninsula, I guess. So the small area, that's all we need. This little thing sticking out. Let's see. We've covered everything up here. We just have this brown spot to put over on this side, fill up the space. And I just want you to know that if you feel like your artwork needs an extra space, maybe you need to add an extra line somewhere, feel free to do that. You're more than welcome to think outside the box. Do your own thing. Now, speaking of other areas, I think we just have this area here. And we have this area or this line to create, just to divide this area. And that is it. We can start the color process. Oh, no, actually, take that back. We need the middle. I'll let you guys finish that up. And then we'll work on the middle of the hot spring. My favorite part, honestly. Now, I wish I could show you all the picture, but the picture is crystal clear water, just so pretty. And it had a very nice, gentle gradient from the dark to the lightest up here. And these steps were just, they look so perfect, look so beautiful. So we're going to be creating nice flowing lines. I'll give you guys another few seconds for that. All right. Now, I didn't really count how many steps there are. Although I do know that there are 3 big steps. So 1, 2, 3 of these big steps. So we'll go ahead and draw those in there. So the big step kind of starts around here somewhere. Just a line, an arc that goes across. That's all we need. And then the big step number 3. It's pretty wide on this side and tapers to really small over here on the right side. So I'm going to start really wide to really short. Just lines all the way across. And then 3rd big step, it's a bit more flowing than the other 2. So it kind of goes up like this and loops down or like that. And the next part, honestly, if you lose track of it, that's absolutely okay. I had to simplify it myself quite a bit. It's a little bit more complicated down here. But we can start with the biggest one, which is just right here. Just kind of put that across. That's the biggest one. Then if I were to jump to the other side, I have another okay size one over here, kind of more wonky shaped. You can tell very different from the original, and that's okay. One of my other favorite parts, or one of my other favorite steps, is this little guy right here. I love this little one, so I'm gonna close that off. And after I close that off, I'm gonna go ahead and make another wonky one right here. And then again, close this off. And there you have it. We have our steps. Now, that's a lot of lines that can look very confusing, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and once you're finished drawing it all, we can go ahead and go over it with the Sharpie. It's literally just going over everything exactly the way it is, just with the Sharpie. So go ahead and finish up that drawing, and then anytime you're ready, you can just begin going over everything. Feel free to add extra lines, extra sections if you need it. If you have a larger Sharpie that you're using instead of the fine point, I am so excited to see it because I've been wanting to do a version with the larger one. So I would love to see yours later, if that's you. Has anyone done anything creative this week? My favorite question. I ask that question to the people that I teach in person to, like the veterans and stuff, and sometimes people in the hospital. Just depends.
And sometimes if Hannah needs to fill in for Alexa at Thyroid Cancer Support Group.
That's true. That is true.
This is my art project this week.
Ooh. Okay, let me see if I can find you, Andrea.
Oh, I turned my camera off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're at the bottom. Oh, there you are. Okay, I see you. And you can modify your lines any way you see fit, just so you know. I'm
I'm just
going
doing that
over
accidentally.
Yeah, see?
But then we're just gonna erase our pencil, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna erase it so nobody will ever know that you didn't intend to do what you're doing. Trying to think of like what did I do this week that was creative? I know Alexa and we made like a little marker drawing of a sky and trees. That was fun.
What medium?
Markers, same kind of markers we're using today.
For Halloween, I created a hungry caterpillar with the paints.
Oh.
That is
Oh.
fantastic.
I will have to share it one day. It turned out great, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that how to make it glossy and to keep the rain from running from running the acrylic paint. And so I found this thing where it says you use glue. You use glue.
Oh, glue. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense.
It was messy,
but you did it.
I did it.
Oh, cute. I love that.
My grandson was the hungry caterpillar for things. So,
Aw.
How old's your grandson?
he's 15 months.
Oh, he's tiny.
And all the grandparents and uncles, we were the fruit. So we wore shirts with different fruit that had been bitten out of by the caterpillar.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
little.
He liked it too.
Aw, that sounds so fun.
It was. It was.
Now, anytime you're ready, you can take your eraser, whether that be like a handheld eraser or, the one attached to your pencil, start erasing. Just go along all your lines and take it all away. Yeah, for Halloween, I actually decorated my back porch, my balcony. Just like a small section of the wall. I took some dollar store spiders and I painted them neon colors. And I already had like a giant spider. I mean, this spider, like the legs, I almost said wingspan, but like the span of the legs is larger than my own arms stretched out. It's a huge spider. So in my head, I was thinking, okay, that's the mama spider, and she's got all her babies, which are these Dollar Tree spiders, and they're all neon. And I put two black light bulbs out there, and so they glowed. It was cool. I put them on the wall.
That must have been great.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was the first time I'd ever done anything like that.
Oh, yes.
I love Halloween.
I do a lot of decorating.
Well, I'm here in Sleepy Hollow, and because
Oh,
Headless
is that
Horseman,
Pennsylvania?
no, New York.
Oh, New
It's
York. Okay.
Mhm.
wrote the headless
Yeah.
the so
Oh,
every weekend there was an event all throughout October. It was something,
oh,
yeah.
that sounds fun.
And then of course the weekend of Halloween was outrageous.
Yeah.
And Kim went
Of
to
course.
Salem. I bet that was fun too. I can't wait to hear about it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And I actually have a coworker that's from Sleepy Hollow, so I always hear about the Halloween
Oh.
antics from
Oh,
her
really?
growing up years.
I was in Salem the weekend before Halloween.
Ah, I was there 2 weekends before.
I was the one of the maybe 3 people that weren't in costume.
I had planned to be in
No.
costume, but I didn't get my act together.
Oh no.
You were the uncostumed lady.
It's okay. For Halloween, when we took the kids trick-or-treating, I had a onesie. It was a dinosaur onesie, so that's what I wore.
Oh,
I loved it.
A onesie.
Yeah, a dinosaur onesie. Because I didn't plan, you know? I totally should have planned, but it's okay. My onesie was really cute, okay?
Now, does your art extend to like being able to do something cool with your like face and paint or make, like makeup?
Ooh.
Does that work for you or no?
I tried, okay? So I tried maybe like a day before to make myself look like a cat, and
Oh.
I didn't like it. I didn't
Mm.
like the makeup. I didn't like and drawing on my face was okay, but I had to like wipe it off a few times. So that kind of took the fun out a little bit. I was just kind of impatient, you know. But it's okay because cats, I don't know, I feel like lots of people are cats and it's overdone. So it's okay. Dinosaur onesie it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start taking my colors out. So I got my Crayola markers. But again, they don't have to be just Crayola. We have our darkest color right down here. So it's this really
But
lovely
Hannah,
royal
real
blue.
quick, if Crayola did in fact want to sponsor this class and provide all of our fantastic art friends with free resources and stuff, you can email me at alexa@ancan.org, and I know that they all go to good use. So yes, Crayola, we like your products. If
Yes,
you were
Crayola,
watching our person, thank you. That was just my PSA. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah, no, I use Crayola all the time, so please watch our videos. Anyway, so I have the deepest blue that I can find in my collection, my 20 count collection. And then
Hannah, you're gonna
I
have to
also
get a
want
dollar.
I have to I feel like I should get something, right?
From Dollar Tree, yes.
Yeah.
Alexa, sorry, Hannah,
Mhm.
is this where I should pull out my watercolors if I don't have the pens?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I will go over which colors I used in this one after this. So
Okay.
yeah, no worries. And you guys already know, I use Prang all the time. So Prang, if you guys are listening, please give us money.
And if we have not mentioned your fine art supply company, I am sure that they are fantastic. You can reach out to us no matter what. Thank you.
Okay, so I have my lovely teal color or turquoise color, whatever you want to call it. Blue and teal, these are for the middle. I also have a lavender color as well, somewhere in here. If you don't have a lavender though, that's okay. You can use purple in its place, which I might have to do because I had a lavender at some point, but This will do. Combo, combo, combo on the line. So we can use lavender. I also use brown, so just your standard brown. So I've got that right there. I also used orange, so I'm gonna go ahead and did I use orange? Hold on a second. I actually used this golden color. So sorry, I take that back. I used this golden color. So this one right here. It's like a light orange. If all you have is
I wish
orange,
they would.
though, that's okay. Mhm.
Too bad they don't write like the name of whatever silly, goldenrod or
Yeah.
they don't write on there. I don't understand. Because I got the
I know.
120 pack or
Oh my
whatever from,
God.
from Crayola. Yeah, and so I'm like, there's a bunch of yellows. I don't know.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it drives me crazy too because I have that pack too, and there's so many colors and I'm just like, which one did I use at that time? Because I don't remember if I
Hey,
had the names.
Crayola, while you're at it, sending us stuff,
Yeah,
label your
please,
colors.
please. It would help all of us.
And if you would like to take advantage of a focus group, we can make that happen as well. So just again, my email is alexa@ancan.org. Thank you.
We are kind of being serious too. And I also use gray as well. So I've got a gray. So we're doing here. Now, as far as the watercolor pencil colors are concerned, I don't want to throw too much at you right now, but I'll just mention that they're very similar, if not the same colors, okay? So, but we'll go over that later.
Hey,
So
Hannah,
these are my marker colors. Yes.
if you don't have a royal blue like that, how would you make that blue darker? Would you add black?
You could do black, yeah. Like honestly, black and teal would work out very nicely. You could also use purple instead of black or in addition to black, actually. I feel like both would look pretty cool. Yeah, I would do either of those colors or both those colors.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions before I move on to watercolor?
Can I see your your yellow? Because I don't.
Yeah, it's the dark yellow
Hmm.
/ light orange
Okay.
goldenrod color.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love that color. So watercolors. So I have a bunch of them, okay, but for this one, I use this one. So this is like the teal turquoise color. This is like the crystal blue, the lighter of the blues. I think that's it. Yeah, oh no, I'm sorry. I added a teensy bit of regular blue. So these three colors here. Regular blue, lighter blue, tealy color. I don't know exactly what to call that one. So those are those colors. I used brown, of course, just classic brown. I used gray, which is actually just white and black. So you'll have to do a little bit of mixing there for the gray. But we don't need a lot though. So you can even like completely take it out. I also used purple. So pretty sure it was this one. They're very similar colors though. So whatever you use is fine. And I use the light orange right here. The light orange for this area. I hope that helps. These three colors here, white and black, brown, purple, orange. Okay, do this. Now, as promised, I'm using those markers. And because I could not resist, I actually started right in the middle. So right in the prettiest section. Darkest color. So we've got our blue, our royal blue. So let's actually start at the very bottom. And when I apply these colors, I am literally just scribbling, trying to kind of stay in the lines as much as possible. But when it comes to actually applying the color, it's absolutely okay to scribble. We want a highly pigmented area. So lots of color, very bright, So my brush strokes are going to be pretty close to each other. Just scribbling away. I'm not going to go too far. I'm really just kind of coloring in that area. And also, when you're ready, you can move on to the turquoise.
Hannah, you didn't flip your thing around, right? Like that's not.
Nope, nope.
Oh,
It-
okay. There. Okay,
It's
sorry.
confusing.
Yeah,
It is
thanks.
confusing. Totally understand. I have my teal now. So I'm actually gonna start with the teal. I'm actually gonna overlap the royal blue just a little bit because we want these colors to mix. We want these colors to go together. And I'm not gonna go too far up because what happens is we're gonna have our highest concentration of color down here, but we're gonna soften it. We're not gonna add any color up here because what happens is have enough color here to spread. And that's how we get the gradient. This color spreads upwards with the water. So I'm just gonna add a teensy bit on this side so that we have plenty over here. But other than that, I'm good. I'm not gonna go any further. This little bit of gradient that you see, that comes later. I added that later. So that those gradients, we'll work on those afterwards. Now, normally, if we're using this type of technique, normally I would have you color everything first. However, I feel like there's less of a chance to mix colors. Like it might be easier to separate the colors if we put water on it one color at a time or one section at a time. So we'll go ahead and switch over to our paintbrush whenever you're ready. I am using the larger of the two rounds. If you are more comfortable using like a flat brush, for example, you're more than welcome to use that. Like, you can always use this one too. Flat brush to spread it out. So whatever is more comfortable for you. I have my water. Go ahead and take my water now. And when I put my brush down, I've got tons of water, okay? I didn't tap the water off, okay? And when I have this water, I'm gonna point down and kind of move the water across this entire area. I just love watching the scribbles just melt together. What I'm doing is I'm spreading this color. I'm sort of pointing the areas very carefully within these smaller, harder to reach spots. Very slowly bringing it upwards. When it comes time to move on to the turquoise, I'm going to start to like angle my brush quite a bit. So I'll show you all that in a minute. We want to go kind of fast. Sorry about that. But the technique works this way. So all I did was grab extra water. I just did a refill, grabbed water. Let's kind of flatten it out. See how flat it's going? Flatten it. I'm gonna try to bring some of this. And I am going over my lines accidentally. That is okay. That's totally fine. I have a lot of instances in the original where you can see a lot of overlap. I'm gonna grab more. Refill. Really spread this color. In fact, I'm even gonna like bring some up. See how I'm just kind of scratching it upwards like this because I want more water to dilute this area and spread it upwards. More water is good. We want that gradient of water. So the higher I move upwards, the more water is diluting it. So now I need another refill, so I'm just gonna grab some water, drag it over here. see what I could do to kind of work it up.
Are we just going the whole way up pretty much?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we
All right.
are.
Fun.
Yeah, and if we need to add a little more, we can probably do that down here. But for the most part, I'm just dragging what I have upwards. I want to take some of this pigment down here, and I just want to stretch this a bit. Go upwards a little bit more. And there we have our gradient. Really angle your brush if that's what helps you to spread it. And this is why I say if you're more comfortable using that flat brush, then you can use that. The only reason I didn't use a flat brush is because I have all of these areas, and for me, it's easier to sort of stick my brush in these areas, but that's just me. Take your time with it. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to catch those little spots here that maybe I wasn't able to drag enough paint like right to the edge. So I'm gonna go fill that in. I'm gonna try to maybe like smooth out some of these spots where I went over the line a little bit. It'll just help if I smooth it out. I'm not gonna get rid of it, but it's okay. Definitely this little spot. And I think I'm done. I think I'm good. Now I want to add a little bit more blue down here just because I want to really make it dramatic. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my royal blue, and you can just very gently scribble a little bit right on top. Very gently, very small brush strokes. And I'll just take my water and just sort of tap it together. Tap the water on top of it, that way it mixes. And I'll leave it alone. I am good with the water. And then afterwards, we can work on the brown areas. I'll tell you why in a minute. Cool. All right, guys. Okay, go ahead and do the brown areas. Now, keep the same concept in mind, this concept where we have most of our color on one spot and then we sort of drag it to another area. Well, I utilize that idea in other areas like this one right here. All I did was I put some brown right at the edge, kind of going along there. Then I had the water just sort of, I spread it upwards into this area very gently. The same over here. It's really only in this area and this area that I had more of that color, and it's not really a nice subtle transition. It's really just that area. So we'll probably start in this area. So a little disclaimer, you guys can, if you accidentally put the brown in a different area from what I have, that's okay. That's totally okay. Because I had to take a look at the picture I was using, and I had to make up some areas. I had to just like have it fit to what I was doing. So totally fine if you put it in a different spot. Starting this one over here, kind of, I think mine is this one. So just kind of fill it in. It doesn't need to be as much of the color as you did down here in the water. Just kind of scribble it in there and you're good. Same thing with the one down here, just scribble it in. Doesn't really need a whole lot because it's already a very powerful color. And then let's see, this side too. So this corner down here, I'll go ahead and scribble some in this corner. Now I accidentally put my hand on the water over here, so just be careful if you guys do that. There, scribble it in. The brush strokes, again, it's gonna smooth everything out for us once we put the water on. Now the next spot is right over here. This larger outer portion of this big blob that we have. So I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say I put most of my color just kind of up here. I use the flat side of my brush to really get in here and put a lot of color down, but I didn't really put too much moving downward. And I did that because I want it to be lighter. I want it to be a lighter version of brown. So that's why I didn't add as much. And you probably will end up getting some brown like in these other areas too, because they're so small. But that mixing is pretty nice. And when you're ready, remember that top area that I mentioned? So all this, that top line, I'm going to go ahead and put a nice ribbon of brown right at the top. Definitely not being perfect about it, and I don't have to be. This is where most of our brown is going to sit. If you happen to put a little more than me, that's okay.
Is the brown going to fade down?
It's going to fade up.
Up, okay.
Yeah. So here's the original. Fades up. Do you guys see how this area is really dark? Just in this area? That was actually just the watercolor pencil. So it's going to get darker. Like we'll be able to work with these areas. This area over here, I put like an ochre brown or like a golden mustardy brown over here on top of the lavender. So we can sort of play with the colors too.
So did you, I guess, not care if it was on the black line at the very top? Or you're still trying to be above it?
Yeah, like right here. Oh yeah, that was an accident.
Okay.
Because
not trying to point, not calling you out, just
I actually happen to love this part though. Like even though I didn't really like keep it in the line, I love the way the texture looks right here. This is a happy accident.
Yeah.
Now we can go ahead and start to put color on it. This is where if you're comfortable, you can move on to the smaller brush. Totally up to you. I probably will when it comes to like this little area in here. For this large area though, I am going to use the larger brush. So that's what I recommend you using. And I'll show you why in a little bit. But I'll start with the tiny one. Just kind of, since I have it in my hand, why not? And once again, I'm going to start on the most concentrated spot right up here. And I'm going to do my best to spread this color. Spreading it into those areas that I didn't actually color on. Take your time getting in between the lines. refill anytime you need it. So anytime it doesn't look as watery, refill. I'm moving down here. I have all this space that I didn't even touch with the brown. So let me show you. I love watching the color spread down. I grabbed more water, so my brush is filled with water. So if I were to flatten my brush out a little bit to where it's like that, it creates a nice little gradient. And I'm just moving it back and forth, but that nice little gradient, just by flattening it out and moving my brush back and forth, it's able to give me a nice blend from dark to light, just by flattening. That idea right there, that's what I'm going to utilize in this area and a little bit up here too, at the very top. It's one of my favorite techniques, actually. I love doing that with the watercolors in general. Now I'm just going to start just filling these in. Nothing special about this spot, just fill it in. Has anyone done anything fun, even if it wasn't creative, anything fun in the past week or the past month? This Saturday, I'm gonna go hiking. I'm
Nice
so
hair.
excited about it.
I partied.
Are you partying? Nice. Makes
We
sense.
had a niece get married, so we went up to the wedding.
Where'd they
Nice,
go?
that sounds fun.
It was Northern Virginia.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I went to
Mhm.
Virginia for the first time. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. And the weather was beautiful, and they wanted a nice fall wedding, and that's what they got. So it was gorgeous. It was a lot of fun.
My son and his wife, they had their wedding celebration in a place called Somerset.
Ah,
I think it's northern. It's near Charlottesville. I don't know if that's northern,
okay.
but it's
Okay.
beautiful up there, down there.
Yeah.
I hear they have a short winter and a short summer and a long spring and fall.
Yeah, I would say
Sounds-
that's probably true.
That
Sounds
sounds really
terrible.
nice. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Me too. Unless you have like spring allergies or something, but
Oh, that's
Oh, that's true. That's true. Now, for the top area here, remember how I had you guys do just like a little ribbon of color? I might expand it just a little bit. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my picture around, because at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I find it easier to use my brush if I point it upward. So that's how I'm gonna hold it. So again, I have a lot of water in my big brush. So I'm using my big brush here. And I'll go ahead and do it in this area. So I'll start on one side, doesn't matter which side. And again, drag the color like you normally would. Drag it around. But as I get to this larger area here, I'm going to start to flatten my brush out. See how I'm kind of flattening it, wiggling it, having it very slowly move out here. I'm feeling the need to refill, so I'm going to just poke it into my water and continue. But it's that amount of water that we want to, in addition to like being able to point it. But by flattening it out, we're able to get that nice, gentle gradient. One of the animals is scratching at the door, and I don't know who it is. Let me in, let me in. So I'll do the same thing to this side now. Shift it out over here. So now that you guys know the two techniques, I'm gonna let you guys jump around to both your gray and your lavender section. I'll probably start on the lavender just because there's a lot of lavender to put down. You can do the gray anytime. It's just kind of this thing down here. And as you can see, I have just a very light amount of lavender in some spots. And that's that ribbon, that line of lavender. Same thing with here. It's not very much, but it's your picture. So put as much as you would like. I've got my lavender. Let's see if I can do the same thing where I put a ribbon around here. But like I said, have fun with it. Put as much of these colors as you want. I remember when I was doing this project, I kind of got lost in some areas because there's so many different directions you can go, many different things, and I love the way it turned out. So, works out. Yeah, see already, I had more gray in this area, and yet I put more lavender. All right. They're two very similar colors anyway. Maybe I'll jump down here, put some lavender here. And because lavender and gray are so similar, you don't have to put the water on one versus the other, or one at a time, I should say. You can do it on both of them. You can do the gray, you can put the gray on there as soon as you put the purple. I'm just now seeing, oh good, I did that line. See, it's getting very confusing. That's okay. Put a little there. Now, it's not in the original, but I want some lavender down here. And I'll even put some gray in addition to the lavender right in here. Now, what I think would be really nice, and actually what I did do here, is I layered lavender on top of my brown over in this area. So if you like this, go ahead and do that now. Layer the lavender right on top of what you've got. So I got, here's my lavender.
Wrong color.
I got my lavender, and I'm gonna put it right at the edge. And then, see, that's blending really nicely. I like that a lot. I may not even need to put water on top of it. I like that. You know what? I like it so much, I'm gonna do it down here.
I think I got lost in the channels.
Yeah, and it's okay. It happens.
It's like I don't know which one's supposed to be.
It's all right. You got the techniques down, so I think you're all right. Oh yes, there's also orange right in here. Now it's this one right here. So I'm going to put this here. But I also added, you can see this little bit of actual orange, like pure orange right here. That was made with the watercolor pencils. So that's how it got darker, with the watercolor pencils, just in case you're wondering. And then I think think I got everything I want to get. Maybe I will add a little gray to over here. And then I think I'm good. So you can switch back and forth between your small brushes and your large brushes. I'm going to start on the large areas just because I feel like they're easier. So I've got my larger amount of water. I'm gonna start right on top of that color. Spread it normal. And since you know how to do that flattening technique, take advantage of it. Anytime you see like a wide area with a lot of space, see this gray and this purple right here, I'm able to blend them just by continuously going right on top with the brush. Gotta refill,
Hannah, sorry,
flatten out. Yeah.
do you just have gray down where you are and then across catty corner in the other corner over there? Is that it? Or
Let's see, I think, yeah, I have
just over,
some
yeah.
here. I was supposed to put gray here, and you reminded me that I needed some gray.
Okay,
But
great.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
pretty much it. Like 1, 2, 3 spots.
And you just put the gray and the purple on top of each other?
Right next to each other,
Okay.
like this one too. Even down here, I had put the gray and the purple next to each other, and just like the act of going over it with the brush, that's what blends it in.
Okay.
So let's see. Put a bit of gray here, a bit of gray here, and I think I'm good. And like I said, these colors are so similar. You can go over them with water around the same time.
I don't know where that line came from.
I said that a lot when I was making this. Where did that line come from?
Hmm.
I'm gonna put gray on this side, and over here I'm just gonna flatten it. I'm really just gonna talk out loud because I feel like we can all work at our own pace, just kind of putting it in there as we need. So I'll just talk out loud. So I am very much flattening my brush in this area. So I like that gradient effect. I want that. And the purple that we're using, that actually was more of an artistic choice, that there was no purple around the hot spring. But I love the idea of having purple, and I wanted something to contrast this little spot right here. Purple was just the color. They're opposite on the color wheel, and so that means that they complement each other.
Gray and purple.
The purple and orange.
Oh,
Did I say gray? I might have said gray. It's the purple and the orange. And again, don't forget to switch brushes when you need them. Anytime I use these markers as watercolor markers, like use this effect, I feel like I'm making the medium work for me. It's just so fun to like move it across the page, and you don't really have to put too much effort to make it look nice. Also gonna go over my orange spot here. There we go. There we have it. I'm happy with it. probably maybe in about 2-3 minutes, I'll show you guys how to apply the watercolor pencils. Now, if you're using regular color pencils, then I would hang tight, okay? Just wait a little bit, because the color pencils are probably not gonna work on it if it's too wet. So it's got to be mostly dry. So just throwing that out there.
And Hannah, just to interject
Mm-hmm.
really quick, if anyone needs to go to bed or you've got to go or anything like that, but you would like to share your artwork and maybe finish up with a recording, just holler at me, holler at Hannah, write something in the chat, and we'll be happy to showcase that. Thank you.
You got it. Ooh, before I do the watercolor, actually, I want to have you guys put the shadows in the water down here.
Oh,
Yeah, let's do that.
those are darker colors then?
Specifically, it's lavender actually. So lavender with just a little hint of the blue, just a small amount of blue when you get deeper, just when you get deeper. So we can start off with the lavender. I love this part. So I actually put lavender underneath everything, but because there's darker colors here, you can't really see it as well. But there's a lavender underline under everything here. So I say underline because I'm thinking of the light. The sun is shining up above, it's up here. And so the shadow is going to be on the opposite side. Be down here. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to point it, use the flat side and just stretch it across. Same thing down here. Point it, stretch it across. Always thinking about where the sun is located. And actually, this part right here, I think this can qualify for an underline. Right here. And now I'm gonna go over here, underline, and I have all these lines here, but it's totally okay to go right across everything. Underline it. Gonna add a bit of an underline over here. Now I have all of these lines too right here, so I'll go ahead and add one there. Stretching down. One underneath the little one right here. Now, wherever you see a corner, like this is a corner where two lines crossed, I'm going to try to soften it out. See that? Soften it. Don't want it to be so jagged. I want to soften it. So let's see down here, underneath this one. By the time I get down here, the lavender sort of starts to disappear. At least for me, it does. Let's see. Now, this particular line, there's not much of an underline to do, except for maybe like right there in this little spot. Really just depends on how you put it in there, how you drew it. But there's not much to underline. Got a spine just soften out right there. But other than that, I think I'm all right. What I am going to do is I'm also going to put a thicker underline on this side. And the only reason I did that was because the light, it sort of seems like the light is not only above, but it's to the left. It's like over here. So that means this area has more of a shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lavender and I'm going to start to underline all of this. As I move up here, it's going to get really thin. It's going to be a super thin line. but down here it can definitely be thick. Like a thick amount of lavender. But up here, thinning it out, I'm trying to be as delicate as possible. Don't really need to worry so much up here. Not really.
So
Again,
so I think I'm using the right kind of paper, like the mixed media, but mine is like falling apart, kind of like it's rolling up. It's super wavy, so like a lot of my water, it's like pooling in weird ways, and in some ways it's cool, and then other times it looks dumb and I can't do anything about it. I don't know. But yours looks flat, right? It doesn't.
I have to wonder. Sometimes some mixed media papers, they're not as well suited to the water as you would think. And that's really just more of like a trial and error thing. Like it's not really something you can predict.
Yeah. Okay.
And honestly, if I were to go over this with even more water than what I have here, it would roll up in the same way that you're describing right now. So
mine
it really
mine is not a good paper. It's breaking up into little bally pieces as I go.
Yes, that's the other thing mine's doing. So
yeah, it's so different. They're so different.
I'm gonna have to write on the outside of this, like, no watercolor. I don't know. Don't use.
I can give you suggestions if you want. Like I use I consistently go to this brand, Grumbacher. Grumbacher, if you're listening, sponsor us, please. But I get it at Walmart. It's a good price.
Okay. All right. I take a picture. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's a good price for the quality you get.
My paper's curling up a little bit too. It's going to be a little bit wavy. I'm probably using a little bit more water.
And I need to.
Than Hannah's using, because I don't have the markers just to share. I'm using primarily. I'm being brave and mixing, using the watercolor pencils on the paper first, and then adding a little bit of water and mixing them out with a flat brush. Just because that's something I've come to like to do. And then if I need a little bit richer of a color, I'm going back in with an actual watercolor and going over that area. So my paper's getting wetter than might be necessary, but I don't know, it's supposed to look like water, so it's okay.
Yeah. It sounds like it's working though, because I can definitely see how the technique would work for sure. Now you can see in the original, this is the original here. I have this much darker area right here.
Yeah.
This was my attempt at very dramatic shadows on this side. It was tough though. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty tough. And I like modified the shape quite a bit, and I still don't think I quite hit the mark. I'm gonna make this optional, all right? Here's the watercolor example. I chose to not do that part, and I like it. I feel like it turned out really nice. So this is what it can look like if you opt out to do that dramatic shadow right there. However, I did go over it. This dark spot you see, that's actually the color pencil. So what we can do is I can show you now how to use the watercolor pencil, since I'm doing watercolor pencil on this one. So now I'll get to bring out these bad boys. You can use either black, or you can use, like, if you have a really dark blue, you can use that. I don't have a dark blue here. Wait, oh, it's a gray. No dark blue, but that's okay. You can use black. And here's what I like to do. What I'm gonna do is take my brush. You can either take your brush, or you can like make a little tiny puddle somewhere non-porous. Either one will work, and you want to wet it. That way you can.
You wouldn't just stick it in your water?
You can do that too, yeah. Actually, the only reason I'm not doing it is because mine is pretty deep. But if you can get like a shallow bowl somewhere, that would work really well. I'm trying to see if I can find something. Can't see anything. That's okay. So I can tap it into my water and start to put this little outline of black. And this little bit of water, it concentrates that color, makes it super dark. I'm just going to very carefully go underneath some of these areas. I'm always keeping in mind that idea of where the sun is located. This is a good tip to know, like for the future, if you want to maybe do some more realistic pieces. Always keep in mind where your source of light is located.
What color
Now,
pencil is that, Hannah?
This one's black.
Oh,
Oh, it's black.
looks blue.
Really? It looks blue? Wow.
Oh,
It's like
it
super
looks blue,
dark.
blue.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
black. That's insane.
So Hannah,
I-
when you say keep an idea of where your light is, does that mean that it will be lighter on that wherever the light is coming from?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be lighter where the light is located. So because we want a shadow, we're working on the opposite side. We're working on this side.
Okay.
Crazy that it looks like a blue. Like a deep black to me. Got some black paint right there. It's okay. In this one, I did actually put a little bit of blue, like some of the royal blue down here, just a little bit. But honestly, you can use your markers if you want, or you can use your watercolor pencils if you want. Whatever you feel like using. Just gonna put a bit here. Just want to really make it dramatic down here. Dip it into water. Keep on going. Now this same technique here, we're going to apply that to smaller spots around our picture. Now, another thing you can do with your watercolor pencils is you can apply it straight, like dry. Apply it dry to these areas, and then afterwards, go over it with your tiny brush. It's not going to be as dramatic, so if you want more of a subtle effect, that's what you can do. So I can take some water, and I applied it dry over here. Go over it. So this is how you get more of that subtle effect. Going over your picture dry. Taking my brush here and I'm flattening it using that flattening technique. It's working pretty nicely.
Hmm.
So I need to add more over here, and I want this to be dramatic as well. There we go. Maybe I'll just do down here and then call it a day. We can start work on the really bright sulfur area over here. I've resorted to just sticking my pencil straight into the water. Is that what you're doing, Brandy?
Mhm.
Yep. I've
Yeah,
never used a pencil this way before. It's really cool. I've
Yeah.
only ever like colored and then added water.
Yeah, it's satisfying, I think. There we go. I think I'm good.
It looks like a Christmas tree.
Hey,
Oh.
for the holidays. Was somebody gonna say something?
No, no.
Well, I'm just gonna put a little bit of detail in here, and now I'm done. Step away. At least for now. I'm gonna work on this sulfur area right over here. So that spot, definitely want a bright orange for this. And honestly, if you have any other colors that are a bit more on the earthy side, like you could even use, I've got a nice brown here, like an ochre brown. I'll take that out. I have a regular brown as well. And of course I have the black. Weird, apparently I have two black colors. Huh. Weird. Anyway, anything that looks sort of earthy, this is a gray, so I'll bring out the gray. I've got all my browns, I've got my orange. We use that same technique for this area. And the idea that I had was I wanted to go, well, at least I wanted to start out moving along the line, but then I moved outward into this area so that I had a more subtle change in texture. So just add it little by little, see how you like it. But I'm going to utilize the same techniques that we've been doing. I've just dipped my watercolor pencil in the water. I'm just going to color with it like this. I do feel like I need like a puddle though. I'm going to put a little puddle on my table. There, I have a little puddle right here on the right side. So I can just dip it in and add more of this color. I probably need some more of that ochre brown. I think now that I'm looking at it, I think I did add that ochre brown in this little area. So I will add some of that. There, so that looks pretty nice. Move on to that ochre brown and see if I can mix some of it right there in this little spot. Mixes pretty well. Once again, if you guys need to leave just because it's kind of late in your area, let us know. But for the most part, this is going to be really the same techniques. You're just going to move along some of the lines and darken some spots because we want to make some variation. You can definitely layer different colors on top of each other. So I've had that ochre color, and I wanted to see what it looked like on top of this gray. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So you've got naturalistic colors. So there's really no way you can go wrong with it. Layer your colors. I had even layered that, as you saw earlier, I layered that lavender on top of the brown, and I love it. I love the way it looks. So, and the original, I layered this ochre color on top of lavender. Love the way that looks too. So for me, maybe I'll do it on this side instead. So you can really have fun with it. Going back and forth and dipping my pencil in the water and moving along to different areas. Trying to like give this whole area a look. I want to see if there's other colors I should add. Maybe some lavender would look really nice in this area. This is not in the original, but I want this lavender to be over here in this brown. So I'm changing it up. Because I like the way that looks. I think I'll take my brush and sort of color it. Spread that pigment right on top of the lavender so it blends pretty nicely. That's pretty nice. Nature has so much variation. No one square inch is ever going to look the same as the one next to it or any other one. So add these little bits of details as you see fit. Would anyone like to share?
It's our favorite time.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yes, we'd love to see it.
I have the gallery view open, so whoever likes to go first, just... Okay,
Oh,
Sharon, you are first.
Yes, that looks so good, Sharon. There's so
Oh
much
my
depth.
gosh.
You're shaking your head. It looks so good.
It does. I'm
I
going to take a
love
dip in
love
it.
the
Probably be dangerous,
the
but
I love the
Oh,
steps.
pretty.
I tried, but
Yeah, you
no,
did great. You did
no,
really good with
it
it.
never looks like yours.
Oh. Is there
That
any
was fun.
part that you need a little advice on?
Yeah, I need to get a different paper and use less water.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
That seems to be a recurring theme. Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe I'll put that, maybe I'll put like some sketchbook recommendations like in
that
the
is
next
a good
email.
idea.
that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Just
Or we'll get a
I'll include the ones that
sponsorship.
I've used. Right. Everybody, free sketchbook for everyone. That'd
We
be
get
the
to be
dream.
Oprah and Oprah's favorite things. You get a sketchbook and you get a sketchbook.
I
That's
love
nice.
doing that.
Sharon, I love it. You did great.
Thank
did.
you. It was
Excellent.
fun. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving.
You
Yeah,
too.
you too, Sharon.
Good night.
Anybody else want to share? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Joe, I
Oh,
think you want to share. Oh my gosh, I
Joe,
love
Miss
the
Joe.
purple.
There you are, Joe. Can you move it over to the left a little bit? Like, yeah,
Yeah, keep going that way.
upwards. Yeah, a little bit more. There we go. We can see some of it
That's
now.
beautiful. I love the
Yeah,
purple.
honestly, that looks more like a stained glass window.
It
That
does.
looks like more what I was originally going for.
Yeah, it does.
I love that look.
And the colors and the layering. Great job, Joe,
Yeah.
as always.
Yeah, the layering's really good.
Jeanette,
Nice.
I think you want to share. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Mine,
Thank you, Joe.
mine is Casper Goes Blue.
Ooh,
Ooh.
man, you did a bigger paper too.
Yeah, you did big.
I like that.
Yeah, that's because I needed this.
Ooh.
But doesn't it look like Casper?
I don't see Casper. I see really nice gradients. Like I'm just loving looking at the pool area.
You got some greens and
Yeah, you put the greens in there.
Yeah, I
It's
wanted to
really
bring out
pretty.
the green in the pool out to the outside.
yeah.
But it does look
Yeah.
like Casper. But thank you. It's always
I don't.
finding things what we can do here. Thank you.
That is
Yeah.
very relaxing.
Thanks,
Like,
Jeanette.
spend with
Thank
you.
you.
Hi, Marcy. I see yours is up.
Oh, Marcy,
wow.
look at that.
Oh wow. That is
Yeah,
great.
the shadows look so nice.
they
I have
are.
to do watercolor. I don't have
Ah,
markers those kind of markers, so I just did watercolor.
I think
yeah,
Oh,
worked out
wow.
real
that's
nice.
it. Yeah.
And that's why the paper is like falling apart because too much water, I guess. Yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
Thank
It
you.
looks good. It looks beautiful.
Fantastic. And then Party Monster, I'm coming. And Leslie, we're
Party
coming too.
monster. There
Oh,
you go.
Wow. I
That's
love that
purple.
kind of
Did you-
purpley.
Yeah,
Yep, I
did
like
you
the
add
purple.
purple instead of the royal blue? Because that looks
Yeah,
good.
dude.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Party Monster.
As
Yeah.
always, Party Monster brought the party. And then
That's
Laura.
right. Thank you. Peace out.
Oh,
Laura.
Oh, that's so light.
Oh,
Oh, that
nice
is
Oh,
subtle
a little more pink
changes.
than I wanted, but
Ah, I
Oh, that
love the
is-
subtlety
Yeah.
of it though.
Yeah.
It's a really nice
They're
gradation.
smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Very smooth.
and again,
Yeah, very
that's
smooth.
with
I
no
love it.
markers, primarily with the watercolors and the watercolor pencils.
Wow.
Yeah, you did a really good job with that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
fabulous.
love it. Yeah, I love it. Thank
Great
you.
job, Laura and Brandy. I'm coming.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, thanks, Party
Good night.
Monster.
Thank
Very
you.
Good one.
Brandy,
I
I
love
love
the
the-
richness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
your lavender
I
came out
love,
perfect.
Yes, lavender's
yeah,
gorgeous.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
really love like this area that you have in between the water and this spot here, the sulfur spot. Yeah, like this
Oh.
whole area here. I love the way that looks.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. It looks like a
Mhm.
gorgeous rock formation.
It does.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I was sad I didn't have much room for ochre. Or I didn't know where to put
Oh.
it. So,
Oh, you
but
don't, oh,
yeah, maybe
looks
it's not
beautiful.
obvious. Thanks. Yeah, it looks very different with like all the pooling made it do weird things.
Yeah.
Like, but that's okay. Nature.
That
Makes
pooling
it look
that
like
you
real
pointed to
water.
down here, I like that spot.
And
Yeah,
Leslie,
I do
I didn't
too.
get a chance to spotlight you yet. Would
Thank
you
you.
like to have me show it? You're muted, but it's
Thanks,
beautiful.
Brandy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my
There we go,
gosh,
Leslie.
look at the
Look at all that.
purple.
I know, look at all
Love the
that
purple.
purple.
More
Yours,
purple.
yeah, it reminds me also of a geode too.
Yeah,
There's something
yeah.
about like the way
Yes.
you applied it, the way you applied the water. It looks really nice.
That's
And
gorgeous.
you have white space. That's real white. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how it blends
Yeah.
into each other. Great job, Leslie.
Thank you, Leslie.
And Marian, I'm coming.
There you go.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
Ooh, look
the
at
ochre on
that.
that's
The pooling.
beautiful.
Yeah, like I see where it sort of pooled in the middle, but that really looks like more like ripples on the top of the surface.
Yeah, it brings it to life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This was
Nice.
fun.
Good
Thank you.
shade.
Good. Yeah, thanks, Marian.
Thanks,
That looks
Marian.
great,
And then
Marian.
we're gonna
Thank
go
you.
to Clan McGinley. We're gonna
Mhm.
start with JP first.
There we go.
There we go.
My obligatory
So,
UFO.
I did a poll that
It's, it's a
Here,
little
we'll do them side by
UFO.
side.
It's a
Oh.
cute little UFO.
Ooh.
brand prismatic.
Oh, Laurel, look at that.
So
Oh my
we were there
gosh.
like 5 years ago, and this was just my
Yeah.
favorite spring. So I did that one.
That's
So
great.
pretty.
I veered from the project, sorry.
No, absolutely not. We just want you to be happy. That's all we care about. If
Yeah.
you're having fun and being happy, we don't
I'm
care.
That's really
really
cool,
happy
Laurel.
you did that. And
I
Oh,
was
saw
JP,
that.
feeling
I
too.
I love
JP, it really looks like your hot spring has two deep ends in it. That's what I love.
Yeah.
You guys did
And
awesome.
the
Yeah.
One and that one.
UFO.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anyone I
Thank
haven't
you.
got to yet?
I
Happy
love it. Thank you.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy
Thanksgiving to you as
Thanksgiving.
well.
Thanksgiving.
And is there anybody, of course, sharing is totally optional. You do not have to share, but if you'd
Yeah.
like to
Yeah, you don't
share,
have to.
Andrea, you turn your camera
quietly.
on. So
Are you?
I'm not really done yet, but this
There
is
you are.
Oh,
Wow.
beautiful.
Ooh.
that
Yeah,
is
this is
beautiful.
where I
The
am.
lavender.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
hi.
love
We
how smooth
sorry, I
everything
have to
is.
add the puppy.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Hello, puppy
dog.
dog. Hello,
Aw.
hello.
Hi,
Aw,
puppy.
baby.
Mine are
Aw,
all
Yeah.
passed out on the
Andrea.
floor.
Aw,
Thank you. We just had to
so
have a puppy break
comfy.
really quick.
Andrea, yours is beautiful. I'm loving
Great
like
job.
the softness of it, especially
Oh,
around the edges.
it's so soft
Yeah, the brown is
Uh-huh.
and
nice.
airy.
Yeah, the brown.
I feel like
Man,
it's
and
too
this,
dark, but yeah, I'm still working on it.
it looks good. I also really love the water area too. Did you use like royal blue or like what color did you use to make the shadows?
Oh, that is colored pencil
Oh, okay.
and
I
dipped in
wonder what.
water. But yeah, it's a dark blue, like a
Oh, okay.
royal or navy. I don't know. It's a darker
Yeah,
blue, and it's the pencil.
I like it. I like the way it turned out. The blue just makes it look more realistic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have Kimberly.
There she is.
Oh my
There we
gosh.
go. I love like this side of it, the left side of it, like the way you put your brush strokes and the way the lavender really blends in with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Great
Thank
job,
you.
Kimberly. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of
Yeah.
everyone as usual, Hannah. And I know, again, we cannot see you. Did anyone else want to share before I make a very quick announcement?
Alexa, can I show you a piece I worked on this weekend?
Of course you can. Here, let me get you up.
Ooh, oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
my
Marcy, you show that
gosh.
off.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Nice.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. So beautiful.
What was the inspiration?
My mother-in-law made these pictures. They're rice paper, little pieces of rice paper that she put on the paper to make a painting. There's no paint, it's all rice paper.
Oh
And then
wow.
So good.
she did this one. And
Wow.
then she did this one here as well.
Oh,
Wow.
All rice
So
paper.
meticulous.
So
So
I wanted it to
meticulous.
fit in with with the room. I wanted it to
Yeah.
blend with
Yeah.
the whole room, you know. So
It's
Wow.
bigger than I
make-
thought. Wow.
I'm going to make a cherry blossom picture I'm working on now. I'm gonna put it
Yeah.
for the cherry blossom picture. I have like an empty wall here, see?
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I
can
need
see
it
a
empty,
lot.
so I'm going to put it there. Yeah. So
Awesome. I can't wait to see it, Marcy.
Well, keep
let
us
me
posted, and your mother-in-law is very talented as well. That I am
Hmm.
rice
She did
paper.
those. She was in her 80s. She's passed now. She was in her 90s when she passed.
Oh
She did those when
my
she was in her 80s.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
Rice
God. That's
paper.
amazing.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that, Marcy.
You're welcome.
Those
So,
were cool.
really quick, everybody. So we are moving up the next art class to Hannah, isn't it December 14th, I think? But
Yes, yes.
it's the
It's
second
a
Thursday of December. We're just moving that up to try to accommodate schedules. And we have to
mhm.
see there. We also have the Veterans Art class, which is coming up December 6th as well, where we are sending supplies. Big thank you to Myriad Genetics and My Advanced Sciences. And if you know a veteran, if you are a veteran, if your friend are a veteran, if your family member a veteran, send it out to everybody. If you know VA clinics, if you go to the VA clinic, we actually have a flyer. Ask us for a copy. If you know a social worker, let us know. We want everyone to participate who absolutely can. And Hannah was so gracious in her email right before the 1 hour before class, pre and post survey. Those help us. And since Hannah, I know we're going to get like tons of sponsorship deals after this recording. I'm sure they're going to
Oh
be
yeah.
asking us for that as well, that data. So doing that
They
helps
would,
us
yeah.
so much. We're manifesting right now. I don't know if you can tell. But
Great.
we are so glad to have you here. We hope you have a safe and fantastic holiday. If you need us, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, puppy break. Excuse me, puppy break.
Oh,
Hi, baby.
So comfy.
Sleeping
So
puppy.
cute.
Hi, baby. Oh my God, so many puppies.
Thank
Love
you,
it.
Laura, for that
It's a
puppy
tough
break.
life.
What do dogs do on their day off?
They're just good
Good
boys and
question.
girls. That's what they are all the time.
No matter what, they're good. They're good.
what kind of dog is it?
We're
She's a lab pit bull mix.
Oh, they're so
I think there's some
sweet.
husky in there too.
Aw.
so tough.
My little old lady. She's
What?
13.
Oh, what's her name?
Her name is Jazzy.
Jazzy. What a cute name too.
Well, thank you, Laura, for that puppy break. And with that, I'm gonna keep Laura, just keep it on there. We're gonna end on this note. Thank you, everyone. Good night. We hope you have a great holiday season. And if you need anything, Hannah and I are here for you. So shoot us an email, let us know. Thank you, everyone, and good night.